Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We're in Genesis 20. We're going to do 2 episodes on Genesis 20, and it's where Abraham is dealing with Abimelech, or God is dealing with Abraham and Abimelech, okay? In this, the question for you is, can Abraham break free from the sin pattern? You're going to see as we read through here today, it seems like it's a rerun of something that happened earlier. In here, the pattern of him not trusting God, but the pattern of him telling his wife to act like he's their brother and sister, so that he doesn't get taken away. So anyway, let's read this. It's Genesis 20. We're going to read the whole thing. It's only 18 verses long. So let's read. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar, and there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. Okay, Abimelech, the king of Gerar, that's a Philistine city. So he takes him, and he takes Sarah into his harem. Okay. But God came, verse 3, but God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You are as good as dead, because the woman you have taken, she is a married woman." And this is talking dead sexually, okay? He had no desire for her. I mean, he had her in his harem immediately. And get this too, she's 90 years old, okay? So apparently she's an attractive woman at 90 years old. And he takes him into his harem, but he doesn't sleep with her right away. His sexual desire is dead. Okay. Verse 4, now Abimelech had not gone near her, so he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He is my brother'? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands." Then God said to him in a dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all that belong to you will die." Okay? God is talking to a heathen, all right? And so don't think that he doesn't talk. God talks to whoever he wants to, okay? And in this situation, to deal with Abraham, he is having a conversation with a wicked Philistine king, all right? Verse 8, early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such a great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." Abraham is getting rebuked by Abimelech here. Okay, Abimelech is saying, I was a king. I was doing you I did nothing wrong to you, and now this curse is upon me, killing my sexual desire here. And why'd you do this to me? I didn't do anything to you. And he says, "You have done things to me that should never be done." Verse 10, and Abimelech asked Abraham, "What was your reason for doing this?" Let's find out. Verse 11, Abraham replied, "I said to myself, this is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Because she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife. And when God had me wander from my father's house, I said to her, 'This is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother.'" All right, so let me stop there for a moment. Abraham did this when he was first starting out, and he did it in Egypt. And he does it kind of at the beginning of his travels, and this is toward the end of his travels, and he's doing it again, okay? You can also get the pattern here. This is a pattern. You get the idea. This is a pattern that other parts are not necessarily recorded. Well, they're not recorded in the Bible, but there's a good chance he was doing this all along. Okay, so It's recorded he did it the first time, and then it's recorded he's doing it this last time. But there's times in the way he's talking, like, this is just a pattern, this is the way we're going to operate, that you're to act like my sister and I'm to act like brother and sister. It's kind of, remember, he had the might and power to conquer other kingdoms and go to war with them, but yet when he comes into these other areas, he's kind of chicken and like, they might kill me to get to my wife Sarah. So this is what he says. Not the greatest way to treat your wife, okay? Verse 14, then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, my land is before you, live wherever you like. To Sarah he said, I'm giving your brother. Now get this, he said, I'm giving your brother. He didn't say, I'm giving to your husband. It's kind of a slap in the face, like, hey, I'm giving to your brother, the one you said was your brother, the shekels of silver here. This is to cover the offense against you and before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves so they could have children again. For the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because Abraham's wife, Sarah. Okay? One thing different about this time that this happened compared to the first time was the first time this happened, Abraham and Sarah did not know they were going to have a child. Okay? But here they are promised, at this point in time, they are promised a son, and it's going to be Isaac, and he's going to be born in the next chapter. Okay? So what has happened here is, in this chapter, is they're kind of destroying that promise. But God has to step in here and deal with Abimelech and Abraham. Otherwise, they would have destroyed it, the whole promise of Isaac being born to Abraham and Sarah. Not Abimelech and Sarah, but to Abraham and Sarah. Okay? So God does everything in his power here, which he is all powerful. He does his will to complete what he promised, even though Abraham is messing things up here. Okay? What I want you to see here is Abraham continued in this sin pattern. And here it seems like he's changed at this point. This won't happen again, but this pattern continues on. And God is a God of forgiveness here, okay? And so there's sins that I continue to do, and I am repentant and I'm sorry, but I fall into that same sin again. But God forgives. And just like Abraham, the father of faith, he was a guy that it shows he fell into sin once, but then it shows he repeated that sin. But God still loved him, and God still called him the father of faith. So it gives us hope because I'm a sinner, and Abraham is obviously a sinner too, but we're redeemed by the blood of Jesus. Thanks for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue one last episode in chapter 20. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.